All right, good afternoon. Call the order of the meeting of the Greenwood Stormwater Board, Wednesday, July 9th at 4 o'clock. We have roll call, please.
Yes, David Payne.
Here.
John Shell.
Here.
Leanne Lawler. Here.
Is there a motion for approval of our minutes from the last meeting of June 11th?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion regarding those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. So it's being approved. All right, we'll show no old business. Is that good? Okay. All right, new business. So we have some people in the audience, so I guess we'll do that first and then we'll address the rest of it. So do the stormwater drain mural project. Here, you want to come forward to the podium and give us a name and an address and tell us what you're doing.
With the storm drain mural?
Which project?
Yeah.
The stormwater mural project.
We moved it to the top of the agenda.
Yeah, it.
That's the waiver.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Oh.
I took.
Anna, I am interning with the planning division. I am working with Alyssa and we are trying to implement a storm drain mural in Greenwood. We are asking for financial aid to help support our project. Perfect. So the purpose of this project is one, just to raise public awareness of the stormwater pollution and help with water quality, which also will help discourage littering on the streets. And this will also help beautify Greenwood, which will attract visitors and hopefully some sort of tourism. And then just in general, help support Greenwood's sustainability and art goals. So our location is going to be on the North Madison Ave. And it's going to be right in front, as you can see, in Teal Canary Art Studio. So we have a local artist who will do it for free. She'll volunteer and do it, but she'll also be able to sign her business, which will be Teal Canary Art Studio. So I did a lot of research because it is storm drain murals. I wanted to make sure it was as environmentally friendly as possible. So here's some highlights of the materials that we'll use, which is all as environmentally friendly as possible that I could find. As I kind of listed just some of logistics on there. I won't go too crazy about it. But yeah, just wanted to list that. I did do a lot of research and I thought about it to be as environmentally friendly. And then here is more of the materials and the budget that we are asking for. So a total of $500. I also wanted to note that there are some items that we will not have to purchase that we can just use for free. So, and then just a few closing comments is we have seen this success in other cities, and the long-term goal is we have our GIS team working on making an interactive art map. So we want to add that onto the art map, and that will also help visitors see the art throughout Greenwood. Thank you. Do you have any questions or comments?
How many storm drains have you painted?
Right now, we're just going to start with one, just to kind of see, like, if it's, like, if people like it or if they don't like it, see how it works, if we need different paint, all that kind of stuff. But just one.
This is kind of in line with the electrical boxes.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there anything else?
And I would think that'd probably be enough paint to do others if it's successful.
Yeah, that'll be, yes, that's been plenty of paint too.
All right, so is there a motion?
Motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
So the motion is for the $500
Yes.
donation contribution. Submitted.
Yeah, it's a contribution towards the mineral project.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion for a $500 contribution to their mural project. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wait to see what she
Is
does.
Lehman, thank you.
All right, we'll go back to Greenwood Village South. Apologize, didn't realize you were in the audience.
I am Dave Barr at England. I was a civil engineer on this project. So we are pursuing a. Oh, thanks.
Back to presentation.
We are pursuing a stormwater waiver. For chapter 9, section B of the stormwater technical standards, which notes 2 separate PMPs in the series are required when development strips at least 1 acre. This project, April Drive, has already been constructed along with the storm sewer that was shown on the screen. Structure, I think it's D108. Yes, D108. That was originally proposed to have a something hood to be a primary source of stormwater quality. This project did disturb greater than 1 acre. However, it was master planning for future development. The project itself is actually less than 1 acre, is 0.8 acres of disturbance. The additional disturbance is the earthwork that's happening on the screen to the northeast. That area. So the drainage report that we do have, it did note that future development, whatever they need, would be required to have its own stormwater outfall to the master plan top. That stormwater outfall will have its own water quality treatment as well.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you. Could you kind of restate that again?
Yes, sorry. Can you hear me now? So we are proposing a drainage waiver for chapter 9, section B of the stormwater technical standards manual that requires 2 BMPs in series if you disturb greater than 1 acre. The project has already been constructed. That is Equal Drive shown along the storm sewer construction. Unfortunately, the sump and hood that was proposed was not installed. However, the project only disturbs 0.8 acres for the proposed growth. The additional disturbance was for master plan grading. That future development will have its own outfall to the pond, and that outfall will have its own water quality, as indicated on the drainage report.
Okay. Any question, Chris?
Yeah, so, I asked the petitioner to come in and request this from the board because it was on the plans. It is underneath the acre threshold. But, since the O&M manual's already been created, it's on the plans. I just wanted to, for the record, put it in front of the board to request a waiver. I wonder, could the snout still be installed? Is there enough depth that it could still be installed?
That's the source of the issue. The snout requires the main hole that's installed into to have a sump associated with it, and it does not have that sump.
So the answer is no?
So the answer is no.
Okay. All right.
So if we do, grant this waiver, I would request that, we update or change the operation and maintenance manual and the as-built reflect the change.
The as-built. The as-built.
Maybe, yeah, the as-built be as-built.
Okay, all right, so with this change, if we grant this, there's no, as far as you're concerned, there's no issues with the water quality?
No, we still have the pond downstream, and then any new runs that'll come into this pond will have a BMP prior to.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
So we need a motion, we have one that's been
And you'll have to add the condition of, I am having a hard time hearing everybody, something about, I think, updating the O&M manual and as-built.
Yes.
Okay, you have to make sure you add that condition to it.
Okay. All right, yeah, so somebody want to read, somebody to read that. This- The motion
Whole
for
thing?
grant. Just the top.
I move to grant the request of Kimberly Corn on behalf of Greenwood Village South for a waiver from the requirements of the Greenwood Stormwater Drainage and Sediment Control Ordinance, Greenwood Municipal Code Section 9-158D, and Greenwood Stormwater Technical Standards Manual Chapter 9B that requires 2 separate BMP structures in series when a development disturbs at least 1 acre to allow use of a single BMP structure for the project, and that the board find the applicant has met the criteria set forth by Greenwood Municipal Code Section 9-162C for the waiver for the reasons set forth in its request for waiver and is presented subject to the following conditions. Add to the O&M manual, update the as-built.
Before you second it, do we need it to do the notice of decision first, or?
No, that, you just sign that. After you've done this, then you sign off on it, because once you've acted on it, you have to provide written notice.
Okay, all right. Second. All right, any other discussion about the motion? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. All right. This, you guys with Summerfield, or, okay. Why don't you approach the podium, give us a name and an address, please. And
Yeah, my name is Carl Knartzer. I'm the president of the HOA for Summerfield Village. My address is 2158 Summer Breeze Way, Greenwood, Indiana, as we don't really have a formal business address for the HOA.
Okay.
To my right here is Alicia Walder. She works for Omni. They're the company that handles our day-to-day operations for our HOA. And help me put all this together for you guys. And then off to my right here is Houston Davis. He's our vice president of the HOA as well. We're here today because we have 3 ponds in our neighborhood. 2 of the fountains are no longer repairable. Each one of these fountains costs about $10,000 to $12,000 for the quotes that we got. For us to rent that bill ourselves would drain pretty much everything that we have in our savings. So we're looking for help to help fund getting 2 new fountains. These fountains are 25 years old. They've been in since the neighborhood was built. I think we got some really good long use out of them. And we do have a 3rd fountain currently works, but we don't know how much longer it's going to work. So we're here today to hopefully work with you guys and trying to get some funding to help us get those fountains replaced.
all right, so in your application, you've got $9,000 per fountain.
Correct.
Okay, but you said 10 to 12, so.
That was from other quotes that we got. The $9,000 quote, this comes from Solitude.
Okay,
They're the company that actually handles the maintenance of our ponds. So they're kind of giving us a bit of a discount.
okay,
So, and that's where that $9,000 comes from. We had another quote from another company.
We got another quote from ASI Aquatics, and each fountain was about 13 per quote. So our preference would be to work with Solitude since they've been good contractors for Summerfield, and they are offering a discount for the HOA.
How many houses are in this?
We have over 300 homes in our neighborhood.
335,
335.
maybe 336. I'm not sure.
I'm not concerned about the exact, and what is the annual dues that they pay?
We just rose them to 165 a year. They were at 145 for the last 5 years.
You have 3 ponds. Which of the ponds do you need the fountains replaced in? It looks like you kind of have an east, west, and a south pond.
So it's gonna be the top pond and the one on the right.
Yeah.
Where is
So
the
it's the
top?
primary pond at the very top.
Is that
photo.
the south port? Is that
The
the
south
south?
pond,
Okay.
yes. And then we want to go over to the right. And that's the second pond that is,
Fairly broken.
so it'd be to your right.
This one?
Yes.
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 The working fountain we have could be moved anywhere.
How much cash do you have on hand?
To do a fountain, we could afford to do about 12 grand. That's almost half our savings.
I do
We-
have a budget if you'd like to look at it.
That'd be great.
We do have other projects that we're trying to do in our neighborhood.
Right.
We're trying to cut out, instead of paying 6 grand yearly for mulch, we want to put in rocks. Replace the mulch in the park entrance and where our Somerville Village sign is at. We're also looking at wanting to build, do a beautification of the park entrance and put up either like a stone or brick wall. The reason for that is we have somebody going through with a 4-wheeler and ruining the plants and all the mulch and everything that we spent 6 grand on last year.
Any landscaping,
So,
they're damaging the actual property.
yeah,
Doing this, we're trying to have a deterrent so this doesn't continue to happen.
Yeah, sometimes the parks has to use that access area. I don't know if you realize that, that's the only way for the parks house to get in there. So-
yeah, that's the only way for the residents to get to the city park. Yes.
Yeah, so I bet sometimes that 4-wheeler might be their Kubota. And so,
Yeah,
you know, if you could, if you're gonna do some improvements there, make sure you get with the parks.
yeah, absolutely, yes.
They want to put in a culvert.
Yes, they are wanting to, I don't know if they're gonna accomplish that. But, yes,
They've got the money.
I know, they don't have the approval.
They don't have the state.
Okay, so, what's the total cost you're asking for? I don't see
Looks like they want us to cover 70% of
Whatever.
18,000.
18.
Yeah, it's 18,000 total. I was offering 20% for us to cover. I was hoping you guys would cover the rest, but it's negotiable.
Yes.
Okay, so your on-site electrical is still okay? You
Yes,
just Get
yeah.
from your
And
panel to the
I
fountain.
made sure to save the other 2 fountains as parts to keep the last one living as long as possible.
What's the plan for the third fountain?
I have a mechanic and the 2 fountains, and we're just gonna stay with Solitude and hope that, you know, we can work with them. If he breaks, I'll try to fix it.
Yeah.
I try to do as much as I can myself.
He's done a lot of work with the wood fence that goes along Northville Road and at our entrance. So we've been also keeping that, trying to repair all that, keep that at the.
I think I heard you say you have 12,000 to put towards this project, fountains. So if
This
we did a
project is-
50-50 split, we contributed 9, you contributed 9.
I'd be happy to do a 50-50 split.
I feel like that's where we normally start, right?
Yeah, so does fountain have lights?
No,
No, okay.
If this one does come with lights, it's a 2 horsepower fountain with lights that they're gonna replace with.
Okay. Yeah, and the cost without the light is at the 74.50?
Correct.
So 74.50 then. We typically don't cover lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cosmetic.
Sure.
No problem. We're more concerned about the algae control.
Like
the-
Oh, we're
and the
concerned
health
about
of the
that.
and the life.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
Likewise, we are too.
Yeah.
All right, so
74.50.
you're proposing a 50-50 split, 74-50.
Correct, yes, not the 18,000 original.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No, I agree with what's been said.
Okay, just wondering, we need to know it in manual.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes, I would recommend, I think it does make the spirit of the public-private partnership. I encourage the water quality aspect of it, being able to turn that water over. And I think we should support it in the amount that the board approves with condition that the operation and maintenance manual is recorded for those 3 ponds.
They submit that to you or they take that into account?
Well, we would get it signed by, or accepted by the Board of Works, by the Stormwater Board, and then signed by the mayor. Then it would be turned over to you to have it recorded at the Johnson County Recorder's Office.
Okay.
All right.
What's your amount that you're paying?
74.50.
74.
Sorry.
74.50.
I need to get in here. I just have to.
Wow,
All
just
today.
tires.
Oh,
He is
it's
taking it
just
out of
today,
us.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so.
Well, then you want me to recommend a motion?
Please,
Yeah.
please do.
All right, how about, I recommend a motion to authorize a public-private partnership agreement with the Summerfield Village Homeowners Association for pond aeration and fountain improvement project for the East Pond and South Pond in Summerfield Village subdivision in an amount not to exceed $7,450. Terms and conditions to be determined by the legal department to specifically include the requirement that the O&M manual be updated and recorded, and to authorize the stormwater superintendent to sign the agreement on the board's behalf.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
all right, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
very much.
luck.
I'll send you an email and we'll help prepare that
Okay,
operation maintenance manual.
sounds good.
Okay.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Have a good night.
All right. Anybody else in the audience today that need to bring forward? Okay. All right, well, let's do the Coopers, that'll be our last one.
Okay, so I think I provided the board, actually, I did not bring the specs for the lighting project, because it's 832 pages.
I have some figures if you want.
Oh, good, if you,
I didn't bring the full thing, but.
okay.
Yeah.
So we do have bids and specs for the Cooper's lighting project. We do have Blaine from the Westler Engineering here. If you want to, if he would like to present anything, maybe a 10,000-foot view. So we just want to get approval to advertise or present these bids and specs to the board, and then advertise this project out for bid.
There's the figures and the
Good.
schedule for you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we do have it, I passed it through, also has a dollar figure of.
Also, that's in our packet too.
Okay, I thought so.
I already looked at that. Yeah. So it's the Cooper subdivision.
Could you give us your name?
Yeah, Blaine Howell with Western Engineering. This is for sewer rehabilitation or storm sewer rehabilitation for the Cooper subdivision. This looks at specifically the corrugated metal pipe storm sewer in the subdivision. And that totals approximately 1,900 linear feet. And this will be a liner that will go inside the corrugated metal pipe to prolong the longevity of the pipe without having to excavate or minimal excavation to preserve roads or surface restoration. And then it will also include one known point repair where the pipe is collapsed, and then one manhole where there's a blind T, for maintenance purposes. That's kind of the gist of it, but if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Anybody? Yeah,
No, everything I looked through before and then glancing at this
okay.
and specification books, as someone who spent a lot of years as an owner's rep, it's something I always hated. I don't know how anybody can ever follow.
Didn't we hire you to do that for 10 years?
I think it, yeah.
Glad I didn't hear that.
Yeah, all right.
The hire.
When they're 3 or 4 inches thick,
Yeah.
and every engineering firm has their own.
All right, moving on.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, we do.
Okay. How about a motion to approve the plans and specifications prepared by staff in coordination with Westler Engineering, and to authorize staff to advertise for bid the Cooper's Drainage Relining Rehabilitation Project.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. The motion has been approved. All right, thank you.
It's too late to vote. Oh, wait.
Yes, we
I'm
do.
so tired.
All right, so, stormwater annex maze project.
Okay, so this is, we talked about, yeah, we talked about this briefly at the last
I
meeting.
may have had a conversation with Sam Thompson about it.
Okay, we did solicit a proposal from the company that has done a lot of work here in the city, so they already know, what it's like to work here in the city very well. We also want to compliment the other project, parks or streetscapes have done. We reached out here to RDA. They provide us with a schematic proposal for design and engineering services. I have presented that to the board. They understand our concept, our idea. They've got the area. 3.5 acres identified. They will provide us with a conceptual design, a topographic survey, schematic design. They'll do some development and construction documents, all for cost of $19,700. So that is the proposal. I don't know if, do we have anyone from REA on?
So, do you have a timeline for each other project? Long-term?
They got the conceptual design 4 to 6 weeks. So
Yeah, I'm talking the overall project.
Well, I mean, does
Overall,
it
we
depend
get
on
this,
how
and
big the
then-
concept
Are
is?
we talking 5 years down the road?
well, I probably to walk through it'll be 5 years down the road, but let's see. But it depends on the cost of the project. I mean, this is something we can start construction next year.
So how are they gonna come up with the concept do they have a budget that they're working within for?
Now,
Execution.
this is what's going to come up with. This is what it's going to
Estimate.
cost. This is the estimated cost of it. The conceptual design. Hey, this is what I've told them. What I've told you. Hey, we wanted to do native centric. We wanted to have a stormwater message, but also it's going to be kind of an exciting use. Also, explain to them that the part of that back area is kind of a wildlife habitat. We can still encourage that as being part of this project. And they said, okay, give us 4 to 6 weeks. We'll do some, preliminary investigation, design. We'll give you a budget. It'll be X amount. This is kind of what it's going to look like for $19,700.
It'll probably be somewhere in the range of plus or minus 20%. Accuracy.
Construction costs.
There's a wide scope of like what they could design. It could be very expensive or it could be
Right.
very minimal. Like,
Right.
how do they determine what end of that spectrum?
That's us.
I know, but like they're gonna come up with some sort of concept.
Well, yeah.
How do they know where to?
Well, this is what I've shared with them, what I shared with you guys. You know, but I said it's got
Those
to
are
have,
edges.
it's got to have, yeah, it's got to have this type of
Feel.
feel. It's got to have this type of native plants, because otherwise it is just a hedge. You know,
Is
it's
there
just
a trail going in?
Might as well be
near
an
that?
English garden.
right.
Is there a trail going in?
Street, a little bitty.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
this-
Sam was saying something was
it's-
gonna come through that area, like alongside it or something.
that has been a discussion, but you know, some of us, I mean, if we get there first, it's ours, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're in control of that
Will,
property.
will the little archway in front that's gonna fall and kill somebody?
It'll be stabilized.
If you want to keep the archway, great. If you don't, that's fine too. We just didn't knock it down because we thought it was kind of neat, but
It looks neat.
I like it, but I think you could stabilize
I
it.
just worry.
have you climbed on it? Do you know? Is it
I
sturdy?
have to
If
know.
I had climbed on it, it wouldn't still be there.
So
We can go there next.
So anyways, this is the proposal from REA.
Alright.
If you want me to, we can request that they have a meeting with Leanne
No.
Waller and.
I would like that.
But no, I mean, seriously, if you want a meeting where they give us 50% ideas, where we can readjust, we can say, hey, this is
I
what you.
think that would be prudent, just to manage the scope of it.
To
And
keep
they don't
them
come back
in-
with something that's gonna cost $1 million.
To keep
They're
it
good.
in the right direction.
They're going to come back with something that's gonna cost
Correct.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
That meeting would serve two purposes. It'd keep them from going off on a tangent that we don't want them to,
Correct.
and it would give us a realization of what this will cost.
Because I think we need to back plan if there's gonna be corporate sponsors or, kind of identify what we're willing to contribute versus what we need to go source.
Sponsored by
These. All right, okay, so what's the proposal here? What do you ask? We're talking about a meeting with this group, so we can.
So,
Yeah, they have a good
Before
better idea.
you act on their contract.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna do any work before they start getting paid, so I'm okay with approving the conceptual design cost, but I don't want them to get too far into it before we see something.
Well, if they're,
Well, we do it with, we can approve it terms and conditions to be finally determined, and we could make them revise the scope. You leave that
Well,
up to us.
we could
and go,
ask
hey,
them
you're
to
gonna
come-
you're gonna put this additional meeting in.
we could
for
ask
our
them to come
meeting
to
at
this meeting next month and don't get far enough along.
okay,
Till we get about 50% conceptual design.
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Unless you're comfortable with them just coming up with the whole plan and then presenting it, and possibly aiding it.
No, I think the board would be more comfortable with a 50% conceptual design being presented to them at the next stormwater board meeting.
They said 4 to 6 weeks, I don't know that they're gonna have 50%.
Well, I mean, they said that it will be done.
I
in
guess
4 to
that's
6
true,
weeks Completely, so 4 weeks they can have.
And so they can affect how many man hours they work on it.
True.
So they don't overwork.
I like it. Let's do
Okay.
it.
all right, so we're at 1987,
1907.
and then they're gonna, we want them to come to the next meeting and provide us with some sort of a ideas, design, idea of what we're
The
doing.
design details will be about 50% through.
Okay.
So there's still plenty of time for them to go left
Okay,
and right.
totally confused.
No.
Okay. All right, so is there a motion?
All right, well, how about motion to approve a professional service agreement with Rundell Ernstberger Associates in an amount not to exceed $19,700 for design services for stormwater annex native prairie maze. To specifically include 50% conceptual design presentation at the next board meeting, and terms and conditions to be determined by the legal department. Authorize the stormwater superintendent to sign the agreement in the board's behalf.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'm reluctant, so. Okay, no, I hear no other further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Reluctantly. Okay, so anybody from the audience or who's on the line that would like to address the board? Hearing none, move on to reports. Council,
None, sir.
thank you. City engineer,
Still looking?
okay. Greg,
Nothing from me, nothing from Bill.
all right, thank you. All right, Chris,
Okay, we have one operation and maintenance manual. As for Chase Bank along Smoky Row, we find it to be acceptable. Recommend acceptance of the manual and authorize the mayor to sign on their behalf.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, anything from the mayor's office? Okay, commissioners, you guys have anything?
In August, looking forward to a 50% design review.
Is there a motion for approval of our claims docket as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No, there's a vote.
I probably learned.
You
You
forget.
may not always want me to be first.
All right. Okay, anything else that needs to come before the board before we adjourn? Hearing none, we will be adjourned at 4:37.